This is why I'll never date in Mexico again. Sounds like another story of a passport bro getting owned, but I could be wrong as I'm watching this blind. So let's see what Red Beer Rants has to say about his horror stories in Mexico.
I'm Casey Redbeard, and this video
This
is
guy on
called
full
My
screen.
Truly Unbelievable Dating Experiences Here in none other than Guadalajara, Mexico. Unbelievable dating experience here for both good and bad reasons. We're going to go through them. Let's first talk about the good, but in the whole video, we're going to talk about like how beauty, like how beautiful is the
Guadalajara.
average girl, what the English level is, how prevalent is the tattoo problem, how prevalent is the pay for play problem, what's the average intelligence,
There you
and
go,
how
pay to
livable
play.
is the city. Those are the good.
Okay,
And
let's
then we'll
find
get
out what
into the bad
Guadalajara is.
in a second. Believe me, there will be plenty of both in each column. So let's start with the good. Beauty, yeah, these chicks
That's
are
where
beautiful. They're some of the most
Guadalajara
beautiful
is.
girls that I've ever seen.
For reference.
Anywhere on the planet, certainly in Latin America. They're definitely more of a...
And when you zoom out, that's what it looks like. Just for reference. All right, now we can continue.
Light-skinned Latina, if that's your thing. That's not my thing, to be honest. I mean, they're so gorgeous, doesn't matter. I do prefer more morena. They're definitely more white. There are still, what you call triqueñas in Spanish. I guess in English we would call it like tan, kind of like bronze, olive skin, like a little bit of tan with a little bit of like Pocahontas indigenous features. But they mostly just look like Spanish girls, like a hot white Latina from like Spain, but they're beautiful. A lot of these girls have BBLs. A lot of these girls have had a lot of work done. Tits, BBL. If you don't know what a BBL is, it is a Brazilian butt lift. It's a procedure where they liposuction the fat.
Plastic surgery, baby.
Out of your midsection.
Makes you wonder, where did they get the money from?
Just that alone already makes your ass look way better because the shape is different. But only
because plastic surgery is pretty expensive. So these girls, man, they must have gotten quite a few passport bro sugar daddies if they were able to get BBLs, plastic, and all that stuff.
They take the fat from your midsection, they re-inject into your ass. So these girls got
that's
like
how desperate
tiny,
a lot of men are
waists,
these days.
Big fat asses, but there's no implant. It doesn't look weird. It doesn't look bad. Some of them are like, maybe you could argue like a little too big.
I don't like BBLs. They don't look natural. And as much as I am an ass guy, I think it just makes the ass look too unnatural to the point where it's just, I prefer natural all day, every day. None of this plastic shit. No plastic ass, no plastic boobs, none of that crap. I'm not much of a boob guy anyways, but yeah, even for asses, it's just no bueno.
But it's not like, if you're thinking of like a gross, disgusting fake ass with like these jiggly like implants, it's not that. It's their own body fat, and a lot of these girls have them. We'll talk about a girl that I knew who had like various. She had like her ass done twice. She had her tits done twice. She had a rhinoplasty. She had veneers.
Twice? What the damn. That's looks maxing to a whole nother level. What the hell?
A lot of girls, they're very touched up.
But yeah, the ladies, they looks max way harder than men do. But you only hear men doing the looks maxing. Holy sh. Mind blown.
Get what I'm saying? But they are gorgeous, okay? English level extremely high. It's one of the only cities in Latin America where, especially, I've never been to like the slums of the city, right? But in the nice areas like Colonia Americana, certainly Andares, anywhere in Zapopan, the nice areas of Guadalajara, I'm doing cold approach, and I'd say 1 in 4, 1 in 5 of these girls speaks English. Same thing with the girls that I meet on Instagram. I don't usually use dating apps because they're usually garbage, but here it was, well, good and bad. But I use a little bit of Bumble, mostly Instagram. But I did a little bit of Bumble. Girls were beautiful, and like, yeah, whether it was cold approach, whether it was Bumble, whether it was a random chick on Instagram.
But he still has a horror story that he's going to tell us later in the video, so I'm sure the dating apps aren't that good in Guadalajara either. I mean, when you think about it, a lot of the cases of these men getting robbed and even deleted came off of these guys going on dating apps in Colombia and all those places where they'd set up a date with a girl they met on Tinder. They meet at a bar. Then while the guy's not looking, the girl will actually roofie the drink. And then once the guy is passed out, she'll get her homies, pick the guy up, put him in the back of a van, and just rob him for what he's got. There's a story of one German tourist who met a girl off of Tinder who lost about 10 to 20,000 euros worth of crypto, and that turned out to be a good chunk of his savings. And then there was another case of an Asian guy who met a girl off of a dating app in Colombia as well. He ended up getting roofied, robbed, and they just unalived him. They completely deleted him. So yeah, the dating apps are pretty garbage across Latin America. If you're struggling to get matches in the US or Europe or whatever, it's not going to work favorably for you in Latin America either, because even if you're getting a lot of matches in Latin America, these girls are typically matching with you for the wrong reasons, thinking that you're either going to be a free green card, you're going to be able to give her this elevated lifestyle that she wouldn't have otherwise, because the American dollar goes super far in these Latin American countries. Even if you're only making 40, 50,000 a year, you can live like a king in Latin America, which is considered not that great in the US, right? So even just that will elevate her status, or they see you as a target for getting robbed, like the one guy who lost his, who lost his savings in crypto did. So, yeah, like I said, if you're struggling to get girls in the Western world, you're just going to struggle anywhere else, and you're just going to be seen as a target trying to go on dating apps anywhere else, and you're going to be fooled, because even though you're getting a lot of matches, it's not going to be what it seems. It's not because you're a Casanova. It just means you're an easy target.
I was getting about 1 in 4, 1 in 5, 1 in 6 of them, something like that, spoke English, and not only just like speak English, but like fucking good ass English. Like a lot of them learn it since they were a kid. Tattoo problem, medium, I would say. Like it's here. There's a couple of doors where you're like, like she had to put ugly, disgusting bumper stickers on her body, but not too bad. The pay for play problem. Uh, they say it's pretty low. There's no like if you go to Medellin, Colombia, they have these places called. I'm not going to say the names of them because I don't want to promote anything like that. Find them on your own time. But there are these famous places in Medellin, or whatever, these famous strip clubs you can go to, and yeah, they're just kind of known, and most girls are selling it. Supposedly here, that's not a thing. Again, emphasis on the word supposedly. Okay, because we're gonna get little preamble, little preview is the bad is coming up, and anytime that there's an obnoxiously high flake rate, which I guess I'm getting ahead of myself and Mark talking about the bad of the city, it's usually because these girls are having they have sugar daddies and they're just being financially supported. But I haven't been here long enough to say. I'm not going to stay here long enough, but on the surface level, very low pay for play. Livability as a city, I would give as close as I can to like a US city. Look, the English rate is high. They have these shopping malls that this particular one at Andares and stuff that I don't know, they're just incredible. Like they're just absolutely insane. These shopping malls, that they're some of the best I've ever seen. Huge, the architecture, the lighting, the decor, just the way they're built. You have Walmart here, you have Costco, you have Amazon. Is one of the biggest problems of living abroad is you literally can't get anything you like, the particular protein powder you like, the brand of L magnesium thionate or whatever the type of magnesium that crosses the blood-brain barrier. I forget what type it is. You just can't get anything that's the type of shoes you like. You can pretty much get that all here. Or you're going to take a quick, $200 round trip flight to the US, like round trip from Guadalajara to Miami, or round trip to Los Angeles. It's like the same. It's a 3-hour, $200 round trip ticket to either city, and just get whatever you want there and bring it back. The weather is amazing. Safety, like weather is kind of like Medellin weather. Like it's, I don't know, kind of like warm and sunny during the day, but not like obnoxiously like not too hot. And it just feels like a little bit chilly at night, but in a good way. Because like when when you sleep at night, you don't really need air conditioning here. Because at nighttime it gets just like a little chilly. You can kind of like bundle up and get chilly. At night.
That's LA weather as well, or just in Southern California in general. Typically hot during the day. If it's sunny and then it's cold at night, or if it's cloudy outside and you don't have sun and you don't have sunlight.
Nighttime, you could either just, if you're moving around, you could just wear a normal shirt, or maybe like a light sweater or like a blazer. But the weather is basically perfect, like Southern California,
Yep.
Medellin, kind of like eternal
Okay.
spring type weather, and they are kind of a highish altitude. And it is a narco controlled city. There's a huge cartel. It's called I don't know, Jalisco or Guadalajara New Generation Cartel. I'm probably saying the name wrong. But they control the city, make no mistake about it, but it doesn't really interfere with your day-to-day life. It'd be very unlikely you would step on a guy's shoes at a nightclub and he's gonna kill you because you disrespected the head of the cartel. They're not,
you could accidentally get with a girl who's dating someone from the cartel. And if that happens, oh boy, they're going to make an example out of you. Just saying. I'm sure the chances of that are slim, but or even if she's an ex-girlfriend or ex-wife or whatever of a cartel member, that guy going to get pissed off if he finds out. So, something to look out for in Mexico.
Out in these streets, super active, looking for problems. At least as far as I know, from the opinion of a gringo who's been 1 week here. But I've talked a lot of locals and whatever. So, in short, we got beautiful girls. They're intelligent. They're educated. A lot of them have BBLs. They're white, if that's your thing. That's actually a negative for me, but they're white. A lot of them have U.S. visas. They have careers. They have jobs. They do things with their life. They contribute to society. They're doctors, lawyers, etc.
Okay.
It's a really well-maintained city. It's got perfect weather. I don't know. I think I already mentioned this. The girls are fucking gorgeous.
Okay, so why are you having problems dating in Guadalajara then?
Okay. Now let's get into the bad. This is why my experiences are so unbelievable. I'm
All
gonna tell
right.
this story. Well, the preamble here I've already talked about is it's one of the most obnoxious cities for ghosting or flaking that I've
Ha!
ever been to in my life, besides this one city called Goiânia, Brazil, which has the hottest girls in Brazil. Don't go there if you want to go there anyway, despite my advice. You guys don't listen to my advice anyway. I always tell you what cities to go to. You guys just avoid them and keep going to Medellin anyway, even though I say don't go there. Unless you just want to have a short-term fun by using your wallet. Not that I condone any of that type of thing, but that'd be the only reason to go there. But anyway, besides Goiânia, the ghosting here is insane. So this story, true story. My buddy, my German friend that I'm traveling with, he may even walk in, he's getting a coffee. He walks in right now. I'll tell him give his 2 cents on the video. But approach a girl that was a hard 9. Now this is not what you guys think is a 9. This is what 99% of you viewers would call an 11. This girl had a BBL, but not like a ridiculous one. It just looked like she had a really big
That'd be negative points for me, bro.
ass, like a nice, perfect ass. It didn't look like operated on. She told me, later on she had a BBL. Huge tits, gorgeous model face. She had like this Hollywood actress smile. She had a rhinoplasty, her nose, her face. I don't know how much work this girl had, but she looked natural. She's about 26 years old. And I cold approached this girl at the mall, and my friends actually saw her first, but they were too intimidated to talk to her because she was like really tall. Her friend was like 5'11", 6 feet, and this girl was like 5'8", 5'9", and I'm 5'10 and a half. So this girl's like just barely shorter than me. And my friends are like, no, man, she's too tall. That's like my German. Like, oh, she's too tall, bro. Limiting beliefs, but yeah, she's too tall. I go up there, instantly hooked. And this is what I'm going to talk about earlier. Like, when you approach girls in Guadalajara, I can't speak on everybody, but as like a red-bearded, decent-looking American who has sick fucking Spanish, like white American, I don't know how they respond to black guys or Asian or Indian guys. For the most part, if you approach well, not all girls,
The Spanish helps.
light up like a Christmas tree. And this girl and her friend were known for, where are you from? Your Spanish is so good. Oh, you from LA? I
Okay,
have
good.
family in, Downey and Whittier and blah, blah, blah. What are you doing here? Oh, that's so cool. Thank you for approaching us. It's really hot when a guy has the balls to approach. Guys here don't do that. Da, 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 da. Say, cool. Let me get your Instagram. We'll set something up. She goes, perfect. Get her Instagram. Go back to my friends. Within 30 seconds, she replies, hey, with 3 Y's, Heyyyy. If you guys are born yesterday, hey
Usually means she's interested, but let's see.
is a lot different than hey with 3 Y's. If you're not doing anything, she says over DM, come join us for a drink. I'm like, yeah, sure. Where are you at? We're at XYZ place. Go over there and meet her. And it's going extremely well. What can I say? She's totally in my frame. I'm busting her balls. I'm saying, hey, I'm going to marry you, but it's for papers only. This is a platonic marriage, right? Like, we're getting married. I'm like holding her hand. I'm like, like, what's your finger size? She's like giggling. She's getting like goosebumps for me, like, touching her hand. I'm like, relax.
Okay.
It's just platonic, baby. It's just platonic. I only want to marry you for Mexican papers. It's like, well, what do I get out of it? I'm like, you get an American visa. She's like, oh, I guess so. Like, we're just like flirting back and forth, whatever. Her friend is there, but it's not awkward. Her friend's there. It's all good, whatever. And then I'm on a date with her for like 2.5 hours, and then I'm speaking English to her. English is perfect, by the way. I mean, we go back. We speak Spanglish, I guess, but we go back and forth, mostly English. And then
Spanglish, that's a movie.
all of a sudden, she just kind of acts really weird. We had plans for after, like, her and her friend, because her and her friend were getting drinks. I was just drinking water because I don't really drink like that. They had like coffee and like one cocktail. I was like, hey, I'm gonna take you out for dinner after this. I was kind of joking. I'm like, hey, you girls getting drinks, I'm just getting water. You invited me. Whoever invites, like that's who pays, right? So you invited me on this date. You asked me out on this date. I was with my friends. You texted me, invited me over. So you're paying for this, but don't worry, I'm a cheap date. I'm just getting water. Haha. She's like laughing too. And I said, yeah, but after this, I'll take you out for dinner. So we had a plan. Her friend, who was like, the third wheel, was gonna leave, and I was gonna take her out for dinner. Awkwardly, as soon as they pay the bill, she, oh, we gotta go. Bye. Gets up, super cold, gives me like the coldest, most awkward hug and a little kiss on the cheek, and they're off. And I'm like,
The problem is, bro, is that you didn't offer to pay for their drinks. Even if the girl asks you out, it's still up to you as the guy to pay the bill, at least on the first couple of dates. And if they're just drinks, just pay for the fucking thing. Even if you're just getting water and the girls are getting actual cocktails, just buy the drinks. That's it. That's why they ditched you. I don't even need to hear what he has to say. That's why they ditched you.
that was really weird and cold. Did I like fuck it up by like not paying the bill? But certainly that can't be it. Like, I'm not gonna simp on this girl.
No, that's why you did, bro.
She's already getting
It's not simping.
drinks. This girl owns like 3 clothing stores.
Simping is when you go on, is when you go on like Twitch and you donate to a girl thousands of dollars, hoping that you get reciprocation. But paying the tab for a couple of cocktails, especially in Mexico, right? Even if Guadalajara is one of the more expensive cities in Mexico, it's still probably cheaper than drinks in Los Angeles, where I'm presuming that this guy's from, because he mentioned Whittier and all those places. So yeah, I'm sure those 2 cocktails, one for the friend and one for her, would have probably been like 20, maybe $30 at most. In LA, it's only 40 to 50, right? So you're telling me that you're not willing to spend 20 to $30 on drinks to keep these girls interested. That's it. It's not like you're spending hundreds of dollars. Now, simping would be, these 2 girls are already taking you out for dinner, the third wheel and everything. They order the most expensive items on the menu and then leave you with the bill on a first meet, right? Like that would be you simping if you were to pay for their meals in full like that, and each meal came out to like 100, 200, and you're spending a total of what, $500 eating dinner. That's simping. But spending $50 on 2 drinks, that's not simping, bro. That's not simping.
Or it's supposed like another business. She's had like 20, 30, 40K of like plastic surgery work done. She doesn't need me to buy her drink, but did she think that was like not gentle me and say, I don't know.
It's not, bro. That's probably one of the reasons why you're struggling. It's a skill issue.
Cold goodbye, goes home, immediately blocks me on Instagram.
Skill issue.
Just like cold, just blocks me, not unfollows me, blocks me. To this day, like we will never know what happened again. This girl was a hard 9.
I told you, bro, skill issue.
She instigated me, whatever. At another experience, cold.
Even if she asks you out, man, if the girl is smoking hot, you better open up that wallet, buddy. Like I said, I would draw the line at dinner, but if it's just drinks, just fucking do it, man. As I've said earlier, just do it. Skill issue, man. I can see why you struggle at dating in general and why you have to do passport bro shit to even win girls over in the first place.
Approach. A 7. Just a pretty girl. Nothing to show off. Very, adorable girl, but not one of these like,
right,
stunning statuesque like creatures that you see like on my Instagram or when I put B-roll in my videos or anything like that. Approach her. She locked eyes on me as she's like walking towards me in this neighborhood called Colonia Americana, like a dog that had seen a fucking filet mignon steak for the first time. I mean, she's like salivating looking at me. So I walk back and I lock eyes with her. And as we like pass each other on the street, I break my neck to look back at her and she breaks her neck to look back at me. We start laughing. I go over to her and I'm like, that's going to be the cutest story for the grandkids. Like how we both, kind of broke our necks looking back at each other. She's like, oh my
sounds
God,
like a movie.
I thought you were so hot. I saw you even from far away. And I was trying to get your attention. I thought, no way this guy's going to approach me because, guys don't really do that, but you made my night. And then her guy friend kind of like, he didn't like touch me, but he put his arm between us. He didn't like put his hands on me. He kind of like comes up, he puts his arms between us and he says, todo bien to the girl. He's like, is everything good? And she's like, no, I just met him now. And he like kind of looks at me like I'm friend zone.
Oh shit, a white knight. We got white knights in Mexico.
And I'm trying to get this girl tonight. And she says, oh no, he's just a friend. I thought he was a random guy at first, just like butting in on me, flirting with this girl. on the streets. But then I find out he's a friend and they know each other. So I'm kind of cordial. I'm like, oh, hey, bro. Yeah, just better now. My name is, Casey.
Could be a relative, but if he's not a relative, that guy is friend zone and he's trying to white knight his way into that girl's heart.
Uh,
White knighting is basically simping. It's another form of simping. It's what people used to call simps back in like the early 2000s, 2010s, whatever, when the internet was just getting started. That's what white knight is. It's basically just an older way to say simp.
well, I'm from LA. I'm new here in Guadalajara. And he kind of like, oh, okay. He said, like, the girl's like, no, I want to talk to him. He's like, oh, okay. So not only did we lock eyes, have a strong physical attraction, not only did we have a great conversation, and she's like, oh my God. Like everything I say, she just like a puppy. She's like putty in my hands.
Oh, the guy could also be gay too. Gay BFF.
She also got to saw me stand up to some guy being like confrontational with me, keep my cool, not like get like butthurt about it or like overly aggressive back, but just like mean, hey, what's up, bro? Yo, nice to meet you, man. Yeah, I didn't ask this problem. Like, hey, I'm gonna be walking with you guys now. I'm gonna just flirt with her for about next 5 or 10 minutes. I'm gonna tag along. Then I'm gonna get out of here. I did not ask his permission to do. I said, this is what's gonna happen, bro. So she got to see me like stand up to a confrontational guy and show that I'm not a little bitch or whatever like that. Get her Instagram again, which I always do an Instagram close because they have a high status social media. It's way better. She can see my physique on there. She can see me speaking on stage room full of people. She can see me traveling the world. She can see all these, me making funny videos, all this extra stuff on my Instagram.
I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Instagram. Even if you have a curated page, and some girls actually see curated pages like his, a red flag, believe it or not. I think it's better to just get the phone number, or since you're overseas, the WhatsApp, and go from there. Not only that, but when you go for the Instagram, it kind of takes the mystery out of everything. Because here's the thing, and not only that, but she has all the reason to give you her Instagram, right? Because you're basically an extra follower if you give her the Instagram. So it's not really that intimate and personal. I don't know. Personally, I'm more of a phone number guy. I'm old fashioned like that. I never do Instagrams, and I have some pictures on my Instagram too, right? That shows me as a green flag, so to speak. But nah, I'm a phone number guy all the way.
Which is what I do for guys, by the way. Go to my Instagram, which is in the description of this video. You can find the link and then message me the word audit. If you want a free Instagram audit, I can build you a super high status social media presence.
Also, if his Instagram handle is Redbeard Rants, and he's giving girls his Instagram with that handle name, then it kind of seems as whiny, right? Like if you have rants in your username, the girl's going to see you as a whiny guy, which is also a red flag.
I'm talking a lot about cold approach, but I meet most of my girls.
Because when you rant, it kind of shows weakness in a way. It shows a little bit of weakness in a way, no matter what kind of context you try to spin it in. So I don't know, man. If you're gonna give the Instagram out, you might want to rebrand yourself.
To this day, so on Instagram. But even me girls from cold approach, the Instagram boosts you up a lot because it's like an excuse for you to brag about all those extra highlights you let. This girl, a little 7, doesn't go home and block me, but I'm getting responses from her about 30 to 40 hours in between. Hey, it was a pleasure meeting you. So like, what's 30 to 40 hours? Like a day and a half, almost 2 days, almost like 2 days between. Yeah,
Sounds like the average dating experience for most guys in the U.S.
so great meeting you too. 2 days later, yeah, well, we should go out sometime. 2 days later, yeah, that would be great. And I'm just like, okay, bitch, like, I don't have fucking time to wait for you between like 2-day responses. So what we're seeing here, me and both of my friends, by the way. So I'm here with 2 other friends, also white guys. One is German. Anyway, but we're seeing this like over the top, exaggerated, lighting up like a Christmas tree. They are so flattered and excited and interested to meet you, just so enthusiastic, inviting us on instant dates, and then going cold afterwards. Weird. And then you probably know where I'm going with this too. Bumble, dating apps.
Maybe you just weren't interesting on those instant dates, right? Like you're looking for any sort of excuse to put the blame on outside parties rather than looking inward. Maybe you said something that was off-putting to these girls, or maybe you acted a certain way, like when you went on that date with those 2 girls and you didn't pay for their cocktails, stuff like that, right? But I'm sure there's things that you're saying or things that you're not doing per se that's costing you opportunities with these girls that are apparently so excited to see you at first.
It's the same thing. It's like, oh my god, I'm so happy. Oh, your Spanish is so great. Your Spanish is so great. I like you from Spanish. Oh, you speak
Oh
Portuguese
God.
too.
Oh, now you're making me lose brain cells, bro. Come on.
Oh, that's so cool. Bye. Oh, I love your red beard. You're American. I've always wanted to date an American. Ghosted. Oh, you trouble. Ghosted. Like, it's just like you just count.
This is just reeking of incel ranting. This is something I'd expect from incels, bro. Come on, man.
Counting the message. Okay, you're like, am I gonna get to 3 messages? Am I gonna get to 5 messages? Am I gonna get to 8 messages? How long?
If you already met these girls in person, you just ask her out on the first message. You don't have to have a back and forth conversation on Instagram if you've already met them in person. You just keep it simple. You set up the logistics for your date, and that's it. Plain and simple. You don't have to have another conversation on Instagram, because that's why you have her Instagram in the first place, because you hooked her in real life in person. So there's no need to send extra messages. If anything, that's gonna increase your chances, or it's gonna do more harm than good, rather than just asking her out and setting up the date. Like, what are you trying to do? Are you trying to wait for her to ask you out? Because most of the time that's not going to happen. It's usually the guy's job to ask the girl out for the first couple of dates at the very least. That's how it works. If you're expecting the girl to ask you out, then man, maybe you should just date other dudes.
Before she's just gonna fucking disappear. And listen, if I had a gun in my head, if I had to stay here, what I would do is I'd hire an online dating virtual assistant. We would run a Tinder account, a Bumble account, probably several Bumble accounts. We'd run 4 Instagram accounts. We'd run insane volume. His job would just be, he would just live like this, texting girls, pretending to be me on my behalf. We'd have pre-recorded voice notes to send these girls. We would triple and quadruple book our dates, and I would have a good dating life here. But like, I don't want to have to,
I doubt that. And besides, even if you went through all that hassle, you'd probably have to pay an arm and a leg for that kind of service.
MacGyver, James Bond, invent this new crazy dating system just to get a motherfucking date. Like, I can do that, and I have done that, and I do that for some clients. That's another service we offer. I definitely can MacGyver and duct tape together some fucking, automated system for meeting women using virtual assistants, other people's time.
So wait, this guy sells dating services, but he's gonna rant like this? What the? Oh my God. And the sad part is people probably buy into the shit, even though he's literally not looking inward right now. He's just looking for any excuse to blame the girls or whatever.
But it's
honestly, it sounds like these girls are similar to the girls that would treat him this way in the US, so to speak, right? He probably expected to get a passport bro experience in Guadalajara, but when he mentioned all the pros of these girls in Guadalajara being educated, having their own jobs, looking beautiful and whatnot, they probably don't need a man the same way the girls from Colombia or one of these other third world countries like Philippines or Thailand or whatever need a guy, if that makes sense. Like, it sounds like the dating game in Guadalajara is very similar to what you would get in the US, which is not impossible, but you just need to know how to talk to these girls. Okay? Like, it sounds like if you're going to Guadalajara with the typical passport bro mindset, you're just going to get wrecked. I haven't even finished watching the video, and that's what it sounds like. Like, he's striking out in Guadalajara for the same reasons he's striking out in the US or in Europe or whatever. Like, it's not a Guadalajara problem. It's a skill issue. And that's why a lot of these passport bros go overseas, because they think like this guy does, when in reality it's a skill issue. Like, Western women are not impossible, and not only that, but when people say girls from the East or from Latin America or whatever are submissive and have traditional values, that's not 100% true either, unless you're dating someone in the literal countryside. But if you're going to these big cities, like even Medellin, for example, big city, or Manila in the Philippines, or these big cities that have obvious Western influences, your experiences are going to be similar to that in the US, or at the very least, you're just going to run into a lot of girls that see you as a target and not as a romantic interest. And they're just going to try and drain as much as they can. So if you're struggling in the US, man, then you're not going to have a good experience anywhere else. Even if it seems like you're having a good experience, you're just getting played and you're not realizing it.
It's just like, bro,
But the fact that this guy is whining like he is and sells dating courses or whatever, it's just so sad.
I made a promise to myself after living in Sao Paulo, Brazil, and kind of having like rose-colored glasses when I first got there and trying so hard as a city to make Sao Paulo work. But after, Sao Paulo has like a similar issue with like, flaking. But actually, Sao Paulo, I know for a fact the reason why they're flaking there is because of the massive pay-for-play problem. If you ask anybody who lives in Sao Paulo, they'll tell you of the beautiful girls living there, 70 to 80%. I think it's more like 90% are into some type of sex work. That's a topic for another video. We actually done topics that interviewed women.
Newsflash, most of the world outside of Europe and the US is pay for play. It's not just exclusive to Sao Paulo or Medellin. It's everywhere. Wake up.
From Sao Paulo who have said that. These are not my opinions or my words. These are coming from Brazilian Paulistana or Paulistas, women that have said this, okay? So here, I don't know why, but I made a promise after living in Sao Paulo that, listen, I'm not here for the great weather. I'm not here because they have Costco. I'm not here because, there's a nice apartment. Look, I could just live in Los Angeles. If I wanted like nice weather, a nice house, good food, good culture, other Mexican people to talk to, whatever, I could just live in Los Angeles and my parents baller house. They'd be like, oh, Casey's visiting our son. Oh my God, good to see your son. And as they're entering their twilight years, their golden years, they would love to just spend time with me. I could live there rent free in a baller house in the fucking suburbs. They pay my rent. Obviously, the more the house is paid off, they'd pay for food because I'll go out and cook food. Oh, another family dinner with our beloved son. I could do that there if I wanted shitty dating. So I made a promise that no more shitty dating marks. I don't care if I have to live in a dangerous third world shithole.
But here's the thing. The reason why the shitty dating would be a thing for you there in Los Angeles is because you're not living in your own apartment. You're living at your parents' house. And when you're a guy living at your parents' place, that's going to significantly limit your options. Even if you have a decent amount of money, you need to live on your own if you want to date in the US, okay? That's just, as a guy at least, that's just the harsh reality of it.
Reason I'm, at this point, damn.
But sounds like you're a mama's boy too, but let's keep going.
I haven't literally done this, but the reason I, metaphorically speaking, renounce my US citizenship and, become a passport bro for life is for dating. We come here to get feminine women, bro. And I made a promise of you don't look I made Los Angeles, California work. I made Sao Paulo work. I made Miami work. I have nothing to prove to anybody, and certainly not you fucker, certainly not, not to myself, about I can make a difficult dating market work. But why do that? What, I'm seriously talking the point here where, so a match on Instagram is when a young, attractive, hot girl, you follow her and
you got receipts to back that up, boy.
She follows you back. So between Instagram matches, aka hot girls that I followed and followed me back, and Bumble matches, I probably accumulated more than 60 or 70 here in Guadalajara. 2 dates. 2 dates.
Skill issue.
2 dates. Imagine matching with 70 girls across different platforms, and they're all excited, they all chit chat with you, and they all just disappear. So
you match with 70 girls across all the platforms and you're only getting 2 dates. That's a skill issue. You either came off as too boring in the chat or you just didn't ask her out fast enough. I mean, I would have to see all these messages, but yeah, man, that's just
again, you guys can say whatever you want, that the comments will say, well, you're not hot enough, you're not good looking enough. Yeah, bro, then why are they instigating me? Then why are they fucking instigating me? Then why are they matching?
Just because one girl invited you to an Insta date doesn't mean everyone is. If you are constantly getting these so-called Insta dates, then you wouldn't only be getting 2 matches or 2 dates out of the 70 matches that you had. It's a skill issue. I'm going to just keep saying it. Skill issue.
With me in the first place.
Skill issue.
I don't know. It's
skill issue.
Weird. And then the other things I will say
skill
too
issue.
about
skill issue.
perceived negative,
Skill issue.
depending on how you view
All right,
it,
I'll stop.
is highly Americanized, but not nearly as bad as like true American women, in the sense that more like feminists. They're just, yeah, the feminism isn't exactly like weak here. Feminism is fairly strong here. They have a female president at this time of being. There is a female president in Mexico. And I would ask girls, like, hypothetically, I'll be on a video call to go like, hey, hypothetically, like, obviously I'm not like some machista guy or anything like that. I don't think women are supposed to be, baby factories and, complete slaves, mindless drones for the man. But, in the relationship, at the end of the day, that the man is truly the leader of the relationship. Again, he respects the woman and all that, but, the man is, at the end of the day, leads a bit more than the woman. Wouldn't you say? Wouldn't you agree? Oh, no, 50-50, everything has to be 50-50, I'm like, oh my God. Like, even most American women, if you get them on like the whatever podcast or the Fresh and Fit podcast, most American would be like, yeah, they don't want it to be like 99-1. They want, 60-40 or 55-45. But they do agree that like the man is a bit more in charge. The man is a bit more of leader. Completely bizarre. Every girl that I've asked that here says, no, 50-50. Everything's 50-50. And
Really?
also, like,
I don't know if I can believe what this guy's saying unless there's actual receipts of these girls saying they want 50-50, but whatever.
other little things too, like not super compliant, not super submissive. Like, I was on a video call with a girl once that just posted like photos from here and above, maybe even like her stomach, her like her waist showing a little bit. So I knew she wasn't fat. I knew she had nice tits. I knew she had a pretty face. And we're on a video call. I'm like, hey, you don't post anything of like your lower body. Like, why don't you do it? It came up like, listen, it was calibrated. It came in the moment. It wasn't out of nowhere. I'm like, stand up and do like a little spin for me. She's like, no, absolutely not. She wouldn't like stand up and do a spin for me. And I'm like, bro, like, I have a pretty strong fucking frame. Girls usually fall into my frame. I'm not used to like girls telling me no for something as innocuous as like, stand up and do a little spin for me. Even on the streets, I have like, I kind of grab their hand and like, twirl them around, and they like spin for me and stuff like that. Like, yeah, if I'm going to take you out on a fucking date or invest my time flirting with you, I want to know if you have an ass. Like, it's no, like, I have my shirtless physique. Like, I post my whole body with no shirt on it.
All right, but here's the difference is that girls don't really care about shirtless photos as much as guys care about these, typical things that they like asses or boobs or whatever, right? The shirtless thing appeals more to the male gaze, believe it or not. I mean, the six-pack is nice and it'll score you some points, but you can't lead with a six-pack. You have to have other things that's going to make the girl want you. That's the abs, the being in shape as a guy is just the cherry on top. It's just really the other things that matters, right?
Instagram.
Like, do you have pets, or does she see if are you a foodie? Blah, do you like to travel? Stuff like that, right? Those are things that appeal to the female gaze. And I'm just kind of spitballing right now, but yeah, like you call yourself a dating coach, but you don't understand female gaze versus male gaze. That's so sad. I can't believe there's people that would even consider buying your courses.
And wearing tight clothing and stuff like that. So just a little bit non-compliant, a little bit Americanized, a little bit like not. And listen, to their credit, whatever. Everyone has different tastes. Not everyone has to agree with me. And I'm not saying this in a bad way. This is
also the twirling thing only works if you've built up flirty enough rapport. If you're just saying that out of nowhere, like let's say the conversation wasn't flirty prior to you asking her to twirl for you, then yeah, it's like a 90% chance that you're going to get with a no. The conversation has to be fun and flirty well before you ask for that picture of her twirling around for you.
It's just, some guys maybe want to.
But, you should know that if you've had girls twirl around for you, show them their asses or whatever, you should know that already, right, champ? But if you're complaining about it, then maybe it sounds like you're exaggerating on your wins here.
Girl that bosses you around and tells you what to do and isn't compliant and doesn't listen and wants to be treated 100% as an equal and not you, ever dominating her or leading more than her. If that's you, then you're an interesting man, and you have the right to your own opinion on that. But listen, beautiful girls. There's still potential here. I would say, all things considered, I'm sure you could find, truly, truly, submissive and feminine women here. They don't, but if they don't want to be feminine, submissive, that's fine. No one's, forcing them to do that. They can be as independent and feminist as they want to be. I don't make the rules or call the shots here on how women should be. I have my own thoughts on it. You can probably guess what they are. But it's just, if the flaking wasn't so bad, I would love it. It would be perfect. Close to the US, beautiful girls, high English rate. They're independent. They're smart. I guess independent could be taken either direction, but you know what I mean. They contribute to society. They've read books. Unlike paisas from Medellin who don't know what a book is. That they're probably illiterate, most of them at this point. So listen, the number one golden rule of Passport Broism, like I just stated, is like I promised myself after living in Brazil, like no more trying to make it work in these shitty dating markets. No more suffering and I haven't recorded a YouTube video. You guys are maybe seeing like older videos that I posted had like pre-recorded, but I have not recorded a new video. Like this is the first time you're seeing this backdrop, this apartment. I've not recorded a new YouTube video in like 10 days because I've become a text robot from girls that I meet from Cold Approach or girls that I meet online. I'm just texting all day to get fucking ghosted. And again, like I literally wrote the book on texting. The texting game is tight. It's happening to all my friends out here. It's happening to locals. I talk to locals. They say, yeah, it's a normal thing.
Don't ever put your jobs on hold to chase after girls, man. Because I'm presuming that you do YouTube as a form of income or as a way to drive leads to your coaching business. So I don't know, man. You call yourself a dating coach, but I don't know, man. But then you break all the very basic rules when it comes to dating as a guy. Like, just another silly grifter.
Again, could I
Let's see what he has to end with.
make it work? If I had to have a gun to my head, yes, I certainly could. Have I still gone on 2 dates, even despite the challenges? Yes, I have. Were they insanely beautiful? Well, one was. The other one was a bit of a catfish. So,
Okay.
don't make that mistake, guys. Don't put yourself. Listen, a lot of guys accuse me of like faking my interactions. They accuse the girls of being, S workers, that I pay them. They're actresses. It's all like, what you guys got to realize is, yes, I am like a decent looking guy. Yes, I do have an amazingly high status, super curated social media presence. I also put myself in like advantageous environments. So that's my reviews on Guadalajara, and subscribe for reviews of more cities around the world for Passport Bro glory and success. Cheers, boys.
Tongue-tied. Passport Bro glory and success. More like passport fail. I mean, this guy went into Guadalajara thinking he was going to have it as easy as it is in the other Passport Bro cities or countries or whatever. But it turned out it was similar to dating girls in the US or Europe. And I have nothing against these girls in the US or Europe, right? Nothing wrong with them. But like I said earlier, skill issue, and I'm just going to keep saying it. This is a skill issue. Guys that don't get girls in the US, Europe, or in the developed world or whatever, it's a skill issue. It's not because the girls are low quality or because they lack traditional values. It's just a skill issue because the girls in the West, so to speak, they don't need guys the same way these girls in less fortunate places need guys. And Guadalajara sounds like it's a pretty well-off city in Mexico. So, yeah, he went there thinking it was going to be easy mode. He could just lead with his wallet and lead with the fact that he can give girls a green card or whatever. But turns out it wasn't like that. So I don't really see where the disappointment is. It just sounds like a skill issue, bro. That's what it is. It's a complete skill issue. But let's see what the comments have to say before I end this. Maybe they found out your channel. I don't know. That's a fair point, because if you showed them your official Instagram, Redbeard Rants or whatever, that means they probably clicked on your YouTube channel and they saw your other videos. I haven't seen your other videos, but I'm going to assume that it talks mostly about women in not the best shape or form. Are your parents proud of you, LOL? This guy called him out. It's like that shit. Mix photo and video into a monologue like this. No one wants to watch you yap. Average watch time is 10 minutes. Unfortunately, I saw the whole video, but I tried to do it for content and I gave my spin on things. So show me some love if you resonate with any of the shit that I said, at least. Maybe they found out what you do for a living and found your channel. If you with your IG can't get some, then I am cooked. Nah, bro, you're not cooked. This guy is just a tool. You need a Mr. Locario. Blah, blah, blah. The girl had a husband. Could be possible. Who knows? Do you think passport bros and flying to Colombia trends will die out? Never. People will always be desperate. You're never going to get rid of desperate men. I mean, even before the Colombia thing, people were just getting mail order brides back in the 90s and the 2000s. This is just the new version of getting mail order bride. Yeah, the first girl you dropped that ball with, making her pay for sure. Yep, I agree with that. Well, I offered to take her to dinner after, but that's the problem is, man, that even though you offered to take her to dinner, you still should have bought the drinks. Pay to play is universal, but yeah, what are your thoughts? Because you already know mine. Kind of sad stuff. Well, hopefully he starts to look inward instead of blaming his lack of success on external factors, because I think it was a skill issue. Have a good one.